Wow. Okay. So hopefully, let me just put the lights on in here. Okay. Mira, esto es increíble. Okay. So I don't know how many of you know. No sé cuánto han visto ya esta historia. I don't know how many of you have seen the story, but I was ready to make a video about a prospect, right? A certain prospect that I saw, and I said, "Oh, I like this kid. Let me make this video today about a prospect I haven't done one in a while. I don't want this to be the Matias show. No quiero que este canal y programa sea de Matías solamente. Entiende que yo quiero también traer los prospectos por arriba. I want to bring the prospects up. But, um, I mean, Mike Coppinger just dropped a crazy story. Mike Coppinger tiró un balazo bien fuerte contra, no es contra, pero es sobre Subriel Matias y su campamento. We're going to talk about what Mike Coppinger, just dropped about Subriel Matias. Like I said, I wasn't ready to go live at all. I was just preparing my other video. But anyway, we're going to talk about what he talked about, what happened, what does this mean for Subriel. But please, always, if you're new here, thank you for stopping in and dropping in and choosing this video, or in this instance, this live. And if you're an older subscriber, thank you for the continued support. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you're dropping in, just hit that like. It's free. It helps my channel out so much. Right now, the views for everybody on YouTube are down by 60 to 70%. Mine's are as well. They're pushing the content out there. I wholeheartedly hope that you guys go ahead and help me out. Por favor, ayúdenme, denle al like, que eso es gratis y ayuda. Los views en YouTube están por el piso, para muchos de el contenido de YouTube. Y bueno, me ayudaría súper. Anyway, guys, so Mike Coppinger said, and let's look at what Mike Coppinger actually said. So here it is, bro. Okay, so I'm just gonna get right to it, and we're gonna talk about what this may mean for Subriel Matias. ¿Qué quiere decir esto para Subriel Matias? En realidad, vamos a hablar sobre eso después de que leamos esto. So here we go. Subriel Matias delivered an adverse analytical finding for the performance-enhancing drug Ostarine and VADA test. Sources tell the Ring's Mike Coppinger. Matias WBC Junior Welterweight title defense versus Dalton Smith on January 10th in New York is now in jeopardy. Matias has 10 days to request testing for his B sample. So, déjame traducirlo un poco lo más bien que yo pueda para aquellos que no entienden inglés. Subriel Matias, los análisis de Subriel Matias de la sangre trajeron, ¿cómo te digo? You know what? Aprobó la prueba, el examen de la sangre de Subriel Matías, trajo para atrás que tenía Ostarine en el sistema. Va, punto y blanco. That's what it just translates to. I don't know. Listen, guys, before I came on the air, I had a crazy dizzy spell. Me mareé bien mareado. Y yo no sé qué sucedió. Mi cerebro está en otro sitio por ahora, pero vamos a tratar. Tengo el agua. Me bebí una vitamina, pero vamos encima. So, what does this mean for Subriel Matias? Listen. Si ustedes se recuerdan, la WBC suspendieron a Ryan Garcia por un año, ¿verdad? Lo suspendieron bueno, no lo suspendieron a él. Ellos siguieron lo que proponió la Comisión de Nueva York. Es ahora, chequéate, esto también le cae a la Comisión de Nueva York, lo mismo que le pasó a Ryan Garcia. Mantengan eso en su mente. So this happened the same way to Ryan Garcia on the same commission that Ryan Garcia was under when he got his 1-year suspension. Okay? He got his 1-year suspension from boxing in New York. Now, Ryan Garcia could have fought any other commission, but the other commissions would have probably upheld, the New York State Athletic Commission suspension, so they don't get into no wars or anything like that. And so it's just better for him to have followed it. He got sued by Golden Boy for lost wages, which you don't have to worry about here. No tenemos que preocuparnos porque simplemente tiene que pagar para atrás dinero que pagaron porque la promoción de él es que está haciendo la pelea. So, al menos que yo me diga que él, ¿sabes? Si no va a la pelea, se meten en fango contra uno al otro, lo que sea, pero no espero que eso pase. So, I don't think it's going to happen. But, I mean, truth be told, okay, so it's a year suspension. It's going to be a year. This fight might not happen. Esta pelea posiblemente no sucede. Porque Nueva York, la comisión dice, aunque no sea la culpa del boxeador, aunque no sea intencional, even if it's unintentional by the boxer, ellos dicen que tú tienes la responsabilidad para saber todo lo que entra en tu cuerpo. You have to be responsible for everything that you take into your body. And even if you can prove that you did it do it intentionally, you're still liable, and so they will not allow you to fight. That's what happened to Ryan Garcia. So a Ryan Garcia no lo dejaron pelear, aunque él dijo, mira lo que yo cogí, enseñó y todo eso, y ellos le dijeron, ok, te aceptamos lo que hiciste, pero como quiera, te vamos a suspender porque tú tienes que ser responsable por todo lo que entra en tu cuerpo y tu sangre. So, if they did that to Ryan Garcia, which is a much bigger star than Subriel Matias, believe you me, that's the same fate that should follow Subriel Matias, porque ya hay un caso que ellos pueden revisar cómo ellos hicieron lo que hicieron, los pasos que cogieron, ¿no? Y después venir para atrás con eso, right? So, y hay muchas veces que el B-sample va a salir igual que el A-sample. ¿Por qué? Porque la única moda que el B-sample no sale, el lado B de la prueba salga limpia, es cuando en el proceso de colectar el A y empacarlo, ¿verdad? Algo lo contaminó con Ostarine. So that's the only way, if it's the first one, was somehow cross-contaminated with Ostarine when they were taking it. But remember, the B sample is not like they take it now from him. The B sample is taken the same day from the same urine or the same blood. So, el lado, la prueba B sale del mismo, la misma orine o sangre que el primero. There's not two separate samples. There's no two separate tests. It's the same sample, same day, they take two. A control and a tester. So ellos cogen un control y uno que van a probar por drogas. So la B, nadie lo ha tocado, nadie la ha pasado, la ha puesto tras una prueba para ver si sale sucia. So, bro, I really don't know what Subriel is really going to do in this instance. I don't see a way out. I don't see how they can go forward with the fight, because if you're, and I want it to go, and I want it to happen, even if it's, because if, let's say, he's found innocent of it, or the only way, and I should make it clear, the only way that they would allow him to fight is if the B sample is clean, because that means that during collection, right? Obviously, I think we all know that, right? That during collection, it got dirty, not during, like, not actually in his blood, right? So he's not responsible for that at all. No, it's no one else. It's VADA that messed up. The collection agency that VADA hired, that's who actually messed up in that chain of custody, right? So then they'll have to be investigated where that happened, right? Okay, where did it happen? Where did we go wrong? How can it have come across Ostarine? Because Ostarine is a performance enhancing drug. If it flagged it for Ostarine, who had Ostarine in their possession when they were testing, or when they collected it? ¿Cuándo sería posible, entre todo eso, cuando colectaron o cuando hicieron la prueba, que alguien tuviera Ostarine en sus manos en un lugar? So the things could get real interesting real fast, and I hate to be conspiracy theorist, but could someone have intentionally maybe done something to the blood or in collection that might have tainted it. Because again, remember, if the B sample shows up clean, the only way is that if it's somehow the testing protocol at the lab somehow misread a protein and confused it with a SARM, right? So, but Ostarine now is so common to be tested for that those systems in place to catch that are really good now. So it'll be really hard to say, and not impossible, but really hard to say that it was somehow the machine. So it's either he really had Ostarine in a system by accident or otherwise, or something weird happened when you were collecting it. So so just the things you have to tiene que pensar en eso. Tiene que pensar en esa cosa. Anubis, that happened before, and the second one was fine, and it was because of the vitamins. No, okay. So, anyways, you're saying that it happened before, right? And the second one was clean. So, are you saying that the testing lab protocols and procedures misidentified vitamins for Ostarine, or just a different drug entirely that got confused? That was a performance enhancing drug that got confused for vitamins because the structure of Ostarine as a SARM is molecularly entirely different. And I know I'm getting geeky, weird, sciencey on you guys, but the molecular structure of Ostarine is much different than vitamins. I'm not saying it can't happen. Listen, I want what Anubis just said here on chat for it to be true, that that's what it is. But if you're saying that, uh, no, that's what I'm saying, and that's why I don't know when you jumped in, Anubis. But that's what I kind of said. I said if the B sample is clear, right, and but the you know but the A sample is for sure Ostarine, then only one way, two ways that I know that it can happen is that if the protocol misidentified Ostarine, right? A protein for Ostarine, or someone handling the B samples during collection and during testing, somewhere along the way, Ostarine got inside the sample. I don't see how that happens. I've collected, so for my job, I can collect drug testing, right? So I do the drug testing. I don't take blood. I take spit from the back of the mouth there, but the way you pack it is exactly the same as you do blood for sports, for jobs. I'm gonna tell you how it works. So you take two samples, right? You take it, and let's pretend it's blood. So you take the blood, you glove up, you take the blood. Once you take the blood, right after you clean the arm, you take the blood, you get the needle comes out, that vial seals, it heals itself. You can't push something in there. Once that's out, you put it in a vial, right? That comes with the testing kit. You tape the vial, right? So you put it in the vial, you cap it. It's a safety cap. Then you have a sheet that has the chain of custody. I would fill it out, right? I fill it out that I collected it at this time, at this place, in front of these people, and there's a B and A sample sticker. I write my name and initials on both of them. I then take that sticker that's long, right? It goes around the vial and down. That's so when the lab gets it, they have to break that in order to analyze it. If that tape is broken, they cannot analyze that one. They're gonna send me back, a chain of custody saying we got the vial with the tamper proof broken, right? So I'm assuming that vial had to have gotten to the lab closed. If it didn't, somebody messed up. Somebody messed up. right? So I'm hope. Yeah. So Lourdes. So Mike Coppinger said that in his blood test he failed. He failed it with an analytical finding that was abnormal for Ostarine. They identified the drug. They named it right, Ostarine. Uh, and based on New York State Athletic Commission's actions in the past, if it's proven that even if Subriel has a new vitamin that he didn't, know that he ingested it, the fight is off, right? Like both samples come out negative. I mean, positive for the Ostarine, because that's what they did to Ryan Garcia, right? He proved to them, and they said just as much. Yeah, we believe what you suspended. That's what the New York State Athletic Commission. That's how they handled it. I did a whole video like when that happened. I broke it down scientifically. I got all the facts straight. That's how they handle things, right? I even talked to the commission. I sent a correspondence letter. They wrote back. They told me how they handled it, the rep and everything. That's before like I was nobody. I'm still nobody, but you know what I mean. Let me see. Yeah, Boots. What I'm saying is, man, listen. I'm hoping that the only real way, like I was trying to explain how you take the vial, right? How you take the sample. That if that vial got to them sealed and they unsealed it at the lab and they tested it just as routinely as everybody would, that and mind you, guys, so just so you know, yeah, the labs look really fancy, but it's not like the movies. Like you can make a mistake. Like you can by accident if you don't wash your hands, I get it. But who has Ostarines on their hands? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, my hope is that the protocol that identifies the molecules and the proteins for Ostarine misidentified something else as Ostarine. That's my hope. And my hope is that when they check the B sample, right, that they find that that's what happened. That's my hope. That can still be it. That can still be what happened. But this sucks like 110% because there's always going to be a shadow now. And it works that way all the time. Even when Ryan proved that, and he did, he sent it to the lab independently tested it. They found Ostarine in his sample that he took. And they said, no, that does have Ostarine in it. And the New York State Athletic Commission said, yes, yeah, we believe you, but you're still responsible, so you're suspended, whatever. Fight, take, the fight never happened, no contest, or whatever. Um, it Nobody believes that now Ryan didn't do it on purpose. You understand what I'm saying? It damages your reputation, even if you come out clean on the other side. They still could. And if hey, Suleiman le tiró la toalla a Chihuas y otro más. Oh, listen, Lourdes, Suleiman, ¿recuerda cuando el de él salió? Sí hay preferencia para los mexicanos cuando viene con la WBC, con los mexicanos de México, no los mexicalis, los mexicanos de México. Yo pienso que ahí sí que hay, porque él le excusó a Chihuas y lo puso para atrás rápidamente a pelear. Eso fue algo, yo hice un video sobre eso también. Está en mi canal. It's on my channel what WBC did for Chihuas. I made a whole video about it. Like, what are you saying right now? But Mexicalis don't get that kind of love from the WBC. They kind of they get a harder love where he put him back into the WBC rankings, Ryan, after the suspension was over. He's welcome arms, and all that stuff. But my hope is that that it was a machine error, right? It was a machine error. I'm hoping that that's what it is, and we are fine and everything. But if the B sample comes back the same way, listen. Yo estoy seguro que Subriel no está haciendo trampa. Para mí, trataron algo nuevo y salieron con eso. That's it. That's it. I don't think él lo trató. Mateo no lo necesita porque nunca jamás ha salido con eso, con algo así. Y sin embargo, esta no es la pelea más dura de su carrera. This ain't the hardest fight he's going to have in his career. This wasn't the hardest fight for his career, period. So I don't think, even if he did, if the B sample is positive for Ostarine, I know he didn't take it on purpose. You know what I'm saying? I just think maybe to try something new. No, sí, Puello. And you know what's crazy? No. Boots. If he definitely uh, like if and I don't know how you prove that, Boots. I don't know how you prove that he intentionally took it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how you took it, but let's look at what the people are saying already. Look, right? People read no, right? Look, and then look at this guy. Look at T Mafiani, whatever. I don't know how you say that. See, they're all using that BS. Shaking my head. This is disappointment. Required 265 VADA from now on. Diablo, papi, te jodiste. Let's see how much praise he gets. Shaking my head. See, ya están ahí. Ya están en esa. Olvídate, they're already there. Look, wonder if he get a praise and support like Ryan Garcia. Eso es verdad. ¿Verdad? Yo no que apoyaba a Ryan sobre eso. So let's see if everybody else turns on him or they support him through it. So does he give Puello his belt back? Esa es otra cosa. That's another thing. Does he give back? That's something I didn't think about. Does the WBC strip him if the B sample is positive for Ostarine? Does the WBC then give the belt back to Puello as a no contest? They did it for Devin Haney. Puello hasn't fought since then, so he hasn't lost or anything in between. So él no ha perdido porque, o ganado nada porque desde la pelea no ha peleado y tampoco Subriel. So no hay pelea entre medio. La posibilidad es que le quiten el título a Matías y se lo den para atrás como le hicieron a Ryan Garcia y se lo dan para atrás. Eso es algo que puede suceder. I didn't think about that. Pero, Lourdes, para decir lo que tú estabas diciendo about Puello being positive, I believe Puello in his story about why he popped, because it had to do with further with men fertility pills and treatment, and I believe that because it all makes. So I work in hospitals. I've worked in all kinds of different medicine practices and talked to different professionals throughout my career and made friends with them. And I could tell you wholeheartedly how Puello said it and what he said caused his positive test. Is exactly how it would happen. So, I mean, and it's so personal that that's a hard one to make up. Esa dura para, you know what I mean? Like, you could have just said you got that anywhere. You know what I mean? But the way he said it, because you could track it. You can say, oh yeah, his wife was having issues. You could track that as a true statement. But so, Puello, I believe Ryan. Yeah, not in the sense that Ryan didn't know, but I believe Ryan also, even if it wasn't a system, it had nothing to do with how he whooped Devin Haney ass. Like, it didn't make no sense. But Anubis, that's what I'm saying. Right. Lourdes, I believe Puello. This is what I'm saying, Lourdes. They didn't strip Chihuas, but they didn't give. Well, actually, with Ryan, I take that back. He couldn't have won the title anyway because he came overweight. But the title was in the air. It was vacant, and they gave it back. So it's the same as if a guy had it, but then they gave it back. You know what I'm saying? Chihuas, no. They gave Chihuas. He popped dirty two times in a row. 2 times. It's a nightmare. Hey, Boots, I respect you. You're a real because you've been here on my earth about the support or lack of sometimes that I get Subriel, and if you standing 10 toes down, I gotta respect that. I gotta respect you. You have morals. You told me that, that once you ride like this and you ride like that, you there for life. I respect that, and I can't. I gotta roll. I can't tell you to not take a different stance because I feel you. Like, man, it just it's boots, Lourdes, Anubis. This sucks, bro. This sucks. Because like if somebody accuses you of rape, maybe I shouldn't have said that word because the algorithm, of taking a woman's, soul on, by force. I don't know how to say, and it's proven that you didn't do it in court and you're innocent. Do you know that if you don't have the money to expunge the record after a innocent trial that you were found innocent, it'll still show up on your record that you were charged with that, and it's hard. So the public perception will always follow you. Like, did he do it? Did he just have a good lawyer? ¿Tuvo un buen abogado? ¿Lo hizo o no lo hizo? ¿O el abogado que hizo trucos ahí y sabía, conocía gente y pa, 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 pa? It's crazy. It'll always be haunting you. Siempre. Y ahora, como dijo Anubis, ahora están hablando de que posiblemente eso fue porque él mató a aquel chamaquito, ¿verdad? Pero Subriel dijo algo que también que lo dejaron subir a ese ring sabiendo que había algo malo con él. Bro. I mean, oh, you were talking about Puello Bona, like, Chico or something like that, right? Boots. I mean, I'm with you. I'm with you, but I was always yo siempre era como sospechoso de VADA, with VADA, because I was always suspicious because and I don't want to speak ill of the dead, con ya se me olvidó el nombre del hombre, del don, que estaba conectado con VADA. But anyway, when you're connected as an advisor and you were the world's best doper, right? And you're connected to VADA, and you're able to get things from VADA that nobody else gets on time, and then you claim that the camp gave it to you, whatever. I always was suspicious about that. So, man, you can tell when the boxer knew. Yeah, you can tell. So, I mean, right now, I'm sure Yomi and him are on the phone and with lawyers um and trying to maybe course correct. Pero mi gente, también recuerden que está ojo, están los otros demás que están en esa cartelera que también están dependiendo de esta oportunidad. And the other guys on the undercard that also are for, doing this. Victor Conte, gracias, Boots, god damn. That were dependent on this opportunity. So he knew that once he says anything about Matias, it's going to spread. Man, this is the last, bro. This was not on my Uno card. Esto no estaba en mi carta de uno. No, Lourdes, so lo que sucede es lo siguiente. What's going to happen now, Lourdes, is that they're not going to test him again. So, like, I was just trying to explain how this works the way I do drug test collection. And any lab in the world, they take 2 samples, right, at the same time. So they don't come back another day and take a B sample. No. So if Lourdes is fighting, next month, and I'm doing random testing on you, Lourdes, I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna take blood from whatever arm, and I'm gonna take 2 samples. So I'm gonna put in your arm a needle that looks like an IV, right? So it's gonna hang down because they can't touch your skin. No puedo tocar tu piel aquí. So no puedo arriesgar que las manos y la piel esté sucia. So it's gonna hang down. So let me put this a little bigger. Enter full screen mode. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh God, what am I doing in actuality? Okay, so when I take the blood, right? So here I'm gonna put like an IV type butterfly, and well, not me, my phlebotomist, right? So the phlebotomist puts the blood here, right? I'm the witness because I could take the spit one, but I can't take the blood. But so the blood goes in here, right? They pinch it, boom, it hangs down. Here, there's a little connection. So they're gonna connect right there. So once the blood comes to there, and they're gonna go, and it's gonna fill up real quick. Boop, that's one. It goes into a bag or a holder, however they decide to take it, right, to hold it up. And then the second one at the same time. Now you have a sticker sheet with all the information. That's called chain of custody. It's going to have a serial number unique to that testing kit, and it's going to have stickers for shipping and all of that. It has two of everything. So two A and B sample. It has an A and a B sample sticker for the vial. Two vials, two chain of custody stickers. So when now I take the vial, whichever one I choose, I put it in vial one. I've already signed my name to all where I need to sign it, and on that sticker, I write my name. I sign it, initial it, date it, where I collected it, and then once it's in the vial, I close it with the lid, and I tape it over. That's sample A. Sample B, the same thing. That sticker serves as my tampering guide. So if the lab gets it and that's broken, it's no good. They're not even gonna test the B. They're just gonna say, "Yo, you got a tampered test. You have to take it again." Now, if it comes intact, then they test it, and then if adverse, then they test the B. But it's all taken the same day. You know what I'm saying? So it's all taken the same day. So what happened? So as an example, in New York, if you remember, Ryan Garcia said he was. I know, Herbert. Tiene a Eri por todo esto y siempre le pasa a Eri. Con todo ¿te recuerdas cuando Matchroom tenía todos los boxeadores de ellos? Los de Eri tenían esteroides, tenían de todo. They were always dirty. Might sound crazy, but they thought they were going to be fighting Poirier. That they went out for the rail. That he thought he was going to win and bid, and he didn't. But he said, "Here's the thing, Anubis. I don't think that Dalton beats Puello or Matias. I don't think I don't think either one was going to be a good night for him. Worse with Matias, but I don't think he beats Puello either. Um, but so okay, so how does he clear his name, Lourdes, to let you? Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, no, he wasn't happy about not winning the first pick. No, but just to let you know, and how would he clear his name? In reality, Lourdes, he can't clear his name. He won't be able to clear his name because if the B if because if the B sample comes back clean, then the only way he gets vindicated is one is clean and two they find out what happened. And if it has any tampering, who tampered? It's gonna be crazy. Now if the B sample comes back dirty and Matias says, I took this new drug, this new supplement, not even drug, supplement with vitamins, and they send that to be tested and it comes back clean, or it comes back dirt, like dirty rostering, I should say. They're gonna say, Matias, yes, congratulations, you proved that you were innocent by taking it by mistake. But guess what? You still don't get to fight in New York for a year. That's it. That's that's pretty much it. There's no going back. There's no going back. And Ostarine doesn't leave your system for a while, right? The only way Ostarine shows up is because there was a big enough amount that you took for it to show up. You know what I'm saying? So also depends. I haven't seen how much of a picogram he had in his system, right? That's also so. If it's a high number, I will be concerned, guys. Si es un número alto de Ostarine, if it's a high number, I would be concerned. If it's like the 85 tenths of a gram, a picogram, like Ryan Garcia, then no, it's unintentional. So no es intencional. Pero si es un nivel alto, oh, I don't know what you do there. I don't know what you do there. Bro, no, Boots. Right now, Lourdes, they're not gonna. It's too new. They're not gonna cancel it because there's still a chance tuve un chance, una oportunidad que fue la máquina en el laboratorio que hizo un error, la computadora, en analizando la sangre. So there's still a chance. If they find that the B sample is clear, they're going to have to investigate why it was a positive finding. And then they'll say, oh, we found the culprit. It was the machine. Then the fight is still on. You understand? So they can't cancel it right away. They can't cancel it right away. Sandra, a mess ain't the word. Porque te voy a decir, I'm telling you, even if they say the machine made a mistake, they're gonna say, oh, Yomi le pagó a Hearn porque él le ganó la subasta y ahora se lo resolvieron y lo taparon y bro, people are nasty. They will make up all kinds of shit. They'll tell you all kinds of things. It it it, it ruined Ryan Garcia for a long time. It ruined Ryan Garcia for a long time. And I always knew Ryan Garcia was going to knock out Devin Haney. I just thought Devin Haney was a dog for not getting knocked out. But I didn't think, and that was the worst Ryan Garcia I ever seen. He was the slowest, fattest, ugly. Like he was gassed. So what Ostarine did for him? Nothing. It was a mess. No, Anubis, they're usually there. They're usually there porque when where they take the test is not your house when you by yourself, like they usually take it like at the gym. They just don't tell you when they're coming. So your trainer's there, you there. There's a people. There's a bunch of people there, and there's a witness there too. Usually, I don't know how boxing takes it, but there's usually a witness to witness the transfer of the chain of custody and how everything went, and just in case something happens, they have a witness to corroborate anything that might have happened. So, yo, Lourdes is not having it. She's like, "This is the worst day of my life." Mi vida. No, guys. Listen, I was ready to make a prospect video. I got my little box rack. I'm like, let me make my little 100 view video over here. Because I'm a grind this horse. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go out for these young guys. I'm gonna make a video I haven't done in a while. Find a new prospect. I'm like, yo, yeah. This kid look good. You know what I'm saying? Let me make a video. And then when I go on, I literally was about to load up everything. I just happened to open Instagram and I got what breaking? Like I saw breaking, and then I saw Subriel and I saw Mike Coppinger, and I was like, "What's happening?" And the worst headline I ever seen, bro. Sports. So if he dirty, then anything that happens, oh well. Matias just saying last Tuesday on LBLB podcast that VADA when there he showed all his supplements, and the girl from VADA says something like a pharmacy, and Subriel said no, just oh. I know for a fact Yomio Adams are not like this. So they made that. Yo, Sandra, you throw in a wrench and boots. Listen, I'm with you. If it's dirty, it's dirty, and I'm gonna have to just like you call a spade a spade. And I don't know what you do from that. I don't, because then we all got bamboozled. If it's true that he did it on purpose, and now Sandra saying that the girl from VADA said something like a pharmacy to Subriel. Subriel said no. Um, that's crazy. That's my mistake. I hit her comment by accident. That's wild, man. Supplements didn't take a lot of stuff. That's what I'm saying. So mira lo que sucede, Sandra, listen, and everybody else. This is what happens with supplements. So the way they're made, NWC said both was clean 4 days ago. Okay, so NASA. So let's go with that, right? Let's say that 4 days ago they said it was clean, but the last test wasn't 4 days ago, right? So the last test was probably 2 weeks ago, right? 2 to 4 weeks ago. So the results come back from that 2 to 4 weeks. So and they say okay, they're clean. So let's just pretend, NASA, that I went to the store, supplement store, or wherever website, and I get a new supplement or my old supplement, doesn't matter, and I take it. Even if it's by mistake contaminated with Ostarine, I could take it today and tomorrow I won't pop. I could take it for a week, I won't pop. I could take it for 3 weeks, I won't pop. I could take it for 4 weeks. That's when it starts to build. And that's when it becomes detectable once you have enough in your system. So cuando tú tienes bastante en tu sistema es cuando sale. So yo puedo estar cogiendo la misma droga sin querer por 4 semanas y no sale nada. Es la próxima. So this probably was, so you got the first test and then now you had a second test that probably happened 3 or 4 weeks ago and now they're saying that they're dirty. You know what I'm saying? So, man, let's play it out. Yeah, let's play it out, man. Like, man, it's just a fucking bro. But Boots, it don't even matter because at this point, they know now the casual fans that we were counting on are gonna say that he was, he's a cheater. That's what they're gonna say. That's what they're gonna say. I, I'm I'm hoping that is a computer mistake. That is an analytical mistake. It's an analyzer mistake. Things can happen. Like for instance, when you know how you get into those MRI machines, right? If I go in with metal into the MRI machine, right, it'll rip off and hit the magnet. Or if my cleaning crew goes in there with like a Brillo pad, it pulls off those fibers and it goes onto the machine. They have to recalibrate it, right? When I used to go into the laboratories, if I clean with a certain chemical, even if I never sprayed it near the animals, it atomizes into the air and it falls back down. You don't see it, and it ruins their experiment. One time, no lie, we my staff ruined. I laugh because it's bad, but I shouldn't laugh. It was like a 12-year study, and we ruined it. We at least we ruined that leg of it, and it was. I mean, we were cleaning with what we were given and using it as we were told. It's just it atomized too much. So, you know, and it messed up their shit. And that's how it happens. He got 10 days to bring in the supplements. Yes, he got 10 days to bring in the supplements. And it's the thing. So Ryan Garcia was able to get away with one. He brought an open one. What the New York State Athletic Commission demands is that, let's say I bought strawberry shortcake vitamins, right? And that's what gave me the Ostarine. I think that's what's contaminated. I can't send them the one that was open. I could, but I have to go back to the store and get them another one sealed that is comes from the same lot number, meaning the new container that's sealed has to have been made at the same time that the one I got. Right? That's the way you're supposed to do it. VADA and they're not part of and Pilion are very independent, right? They are not part of an NPLO commission. No, I don't think they are. No, they're independent. But so let's take this time to actually educate everybody on how VADA works. VADA is not a lab. VADA no tiene laboratorio. VADA no tiene nada. No tiene ni un científico, ni un doctor, nada. VADA doesn't have a doctor, doesn't have a lab, doesn't have a facility that that does any testing. No. So VADA tiene gente que ellos mandan para coleccionar la sangre. So they have, field agents. They go and collect this blood. VADA hires a different lab para analizar la sangre. So they hire a different lab to analyze the blood. VADA does no actual testing. They're the middleman. Ellos son el hombre del medio. Ellos no hacen nada. So in reality, I don't even know why they exist, to be honest with you. I, I, I don't know. But so that's how they work. They don't analyze anything in-house. Um, Nelson Adams and Yomi would never allow anything like that. Yeah, I know. I don't. And I believe you, Lourdes. So they don't analyze anything, right? So it would be on the lab, and the labs are pretty good. Like that's their reputation. So they're not gonna just live for testing. If they found it, they found it. Can they make a mistake? Sure, but it'll be more like equipment error rather than they did anything. The lab wouldn't do shit for Eddie or anybody else. It would have been in transit or a mistake from the machine. to even labs are not 100% accurate, like you're saying. I think this happened in Albuquerque, but there's people that were doing the blood transfusion. They all got HIV because someone. Yes, so back and I don't know if that happened recently, but back in like the late '80s, early '90s, where HIV testing was not as available as it is now or as good. Yes, people got blood transfusions before that from people that were HIV positive. Some people knew they were HIV positive, and some people didn't know they were HIV positive, and they got those, and that's unfortunate. Nowadays, though, it's very hard for that to happen. Ahora, hoy en día es bien difícil. Las pruebas que ellos pasan en toda esa sangre, que tienen que analizarla después que la cogen y la mantienen. O sea, eso ya. If you got HIV recently from a blood transfusion, you were somewhere that they don't have a Windows. I don't know. So Subriel can get stripped and Eddie gets Dalton and he's the opponent. If he tests dirty, I believe this was one of these new supplements. If it's true, it was an accident. See, VADA should be involved. Lots of stuff could have happened. That's why, remember, Floyd Mayweather didn't want to use VADA. He always wanted to use USADA, right, as the collection agency. Él nunca quería a VADA. Él siempre quería USADA. No sé por qué. Ustedes me dicen a mí. No, so Naza, so he can get stripped, but if in this case, let's pretend he gets stripped, I think it goes right back to Puello. Porque recuerda, remember, Puello was the last champion in between this fight. Subriel no ha peleado con nadie entre medio, and neither has Puello. So there's no fights in between. So if he gets stripped, I think that goes right back to Puello. I think he gets reinstated. I think he gets reinstated. I think the fight gets moved. I think the fight gets moved. Yomi pierde el dinero que él pagó porque él es el promotor. ¿A quién él le va a sacar el dinero? Right? So Yomi can't recoup that money. He spent that money on his own fighter. So if they do cancel the fight because he was dirty and found dirty, I think what they do is they reinstate Puello as the champion. They move that fight with Dalton and Puello to a later date in the year. And everybody loses the opportunity. Yeah, no, I don't think that would happen, Lourdes. If that happened, then there's corruption everywhere. And I hope that Dalton wouldn't take that like that. I hope that Dalton would say, "No, I'm not taking that belt like that." I'm hoping, but who knows? But so also understand how supplements are made. So supplements in the United States of America, en Estados Unidos, vitaminas no son reguladas por by the USDA. No son reguladas. So, ejemplo, Lourdes y yo podemos decir, tú sabes, vamos a hacer una vitamina a sabor de chocolate. ¿Cómo vamos a hacer eso? Bueno, compramos la vitamina A en polvo, le echamos quick, le echamos azúcar, le echamos un poquito de wax de cocinar, hacemos las píldoras, lo ponemos con algodón en pote, lo sellamos, le ponemos Lourdes y Boxing on Wrap, vitamins, chocolate flavor, and I could sell it. De mi casa. No hay regulación. There's no regulation. I could sell any vitamin I want that I make up in my house right now. I have to list the ingredients. Tengo que poner los ingredientes y todo eso, but it's not regulated. It's not regulated. Yeah, because they're not regulated, Sandra. None of that stuff inside GNC is regulated. Ahora, ¿cómo sucede que un producto tenga Ostarine? Le voy a explicar. Ostarine se manufactura, right? They manufacture Ostarine in factories. That's what they do. There's companies. So in that same factory warehouse, I want to say maybe 80% of the time, you have Ostarine being made over here. You have vitamins being made here. You have powder supplements here and whatever. They don't have barriers in between. So el polvo de Ostarine puede estar en el aire y caer en la vitamina. Esa es una. Otra, you have, so the dust from the Ostarine can go into the other side of the factory, and that's how you could get traces amount. Or the worker from Ostarine walks over to the vitamin side of the factory and doesn't gown down and re-gown up. And then he or she puts traces amount. of Ostarine in the system of the production. Hay pocas compañías, there's very few companies that have really good standards, and that doesn't happen, but they are very few. Son bien pocas las compañías que ellos tienen protocolo que no puedes romper. Bien, bien difícil, ¿sabes? Pero son poquitas. So, don't think that you're gonna, that's everybody. No, that's not everybody. Let me see what you guys, especially the one the purse. But I know. So they say how much they found? Because Ring Magazine or MF don't think that they, I don't think they like fresh production when the purse bed. Believe me, that happened to me. Okay, you see, I call BS. Puerto Rican fighters have never taken hormones. I mean, okay. You meant labs. I wonder what was the last thing you said, Anubis, that you were talking about labs. But But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's that you go to GNC y vas a todas esas farmacias y compras vitaminas, tú coges un riesgo. Tú estás, mira, mi mamá le pasó lo mismo. Ella fue a un trabajo que ella estaba, un trabajo de su sueño, como decir, y salió que ella tenía droga en el sistema. Y yo le di el dinero para que fuera para atrás y de ella misma, del bolsillo de ella, de nosotros, para que fuera y se probara otra vez y salió que ella había comido un pan con sesame seeds y le salió positivo la sangre. Pero ella lo enseñó con el dinero que yo le di para que ella fuera ahí y lo peleara y ganó el trabajo y se retiró de ahí. So, she retired from there. So, yeah, you can eat something at home, you know? No, not yet. There's still a chance, Lourdes, that the lab messed up and that everything will be okay. And all of this video I'm doing right now is all for nothing. like, you know, but I've never seen one of these end well. I, that's just what it is. Jose, bro, when I say that I was ready to do a prospect video and I just happened to open Instagram just to recheck my facts about the prospect that I was going to do the video on, and then I see this, I go, what in the actual hell? Like I don't understand. Like, I mean, I really, it caught me off guard, but it's so important as a fighter, as an athlete, even as a regular person, que ustedes, y también yo, cuando vamos a comprar vitamina, hay que hacer todo lo posible que lo que ellos dicen que está ahí, está ahí. Y hay maneras de saber, ¿sabes? There's ways you can tell if a company's doing the right things at making these supplements. So if Subriel's team just got lazy and didn't check, that's crazy. That's crazy. Ese Turkey están mordidos porque perdieron la pelea contra Fresh Promotion. After VADA lied about Mungia's positive test, I don't believe them. Yeah, that was a weird one. Lourdes, I don't think so. Not yet. Thank God it's not after a fight. I think there's still time. That's what I'm saying, Sandra. I think there's still time. I think we can still hope for the best of a malfunction, of a false reading from the actual analyzing equipment that they, you know, I just, you know what? Let me look up something. Now that you guys are here, let me see. I never. Let's Google something. I don't know how to word this. How can a lab? Let me see. How can a lab mistake something in blood for Ostarine? Let's see. Let's see what that yields. Can a blood test be wrong? Yes, lab detection may make mistakes sometimes when processing samples. It is possible for an error to occur when working with hundreds of samples every day. So that may be another thing, right? Maybe they had a whole bunch, and maybe they switched vials. Run the blood test, make sure it's his DNA, right? That might be another thing they have to do. Take another blood test and make sure that it matches Subriel's DNA, right? Like, what if? Um, let me see. Let me see what it says. The AI. Let's see what the AI says about it. A lab mistake in identifying ostarine in blood sample is primarily caused by human error sample contamination, or less likely for sophisticated testing, cross reactivity with other substances in initial screening tests. Confirmatory testing, the gold standard, minimizes the risk of mistaking a natural compound for Ostarine. So, man, I'm on point. See what I told y'all? Man, I'm good. I've been doing this for too long on a professional level. I told y'all it's more than likely the protein in the compound that got mistaken. So I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping that it is that. Um, I found out because I put a comment on Subriel's interview and someone said that he tested positive or something. I thought he was messing around. Okay, so could they invalidate his win against Puello? Yes, they can. If he's found on positive on A sample and B sample, um, no. You know what? No, no, Sandra. More than likely, what they would do, because they can't prove that he did it for his fight, because this is not directly after Puello fight. So what they can do is, like, let's say if both samples are dirty, and they say no, 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 he took it. They can strip him. Number one, they can strip him. They totally can give the belt back to Puello, but the loss for Puello will still stand with an asterisk, or they can switch it to a no contest and take the win away from Subriel. You understand what I'm saying? They could do that. Um, but boxing is so weird en cómo hacen las cosas. So hay muchas posibilidades. Um, there's things that can happen there. Prepárense para la que van a hablar la mierda. Ah, mira, Lourdes, no venga con eso, deja a sus dominicanos quietos. No los ponga activos, porque si los pones activos, los vamos a joder. Ya te Flash lo noquearon y ahora. Lourdes, cálmate. Cálmate, que no puedo estar, me estás agitando. No me pongas también ahora los dominicanos encima, que no estoy preparado. I'm not ready for that yet. Anubis, that do you good. No, I mean, there's some things I know a lot about Anubis, and there's some things I don't know a lot about. And I might come across as a know-it-all because I am interested in almost every damn thing. And when I want to talk about something, I usually research it as much as I can before I talk about it. And like I said, I've done videos on this before. I've been working in hospitals for a long time. I've met nutritionists. I've met, heart surgeons, brain surgeons. I've met phlebotomists. I've met technicians. I've taken drug samples myself for employees, so I know how the chain of custody works. No, they can definitely take it, Anubis. It's up to the WBC. It's up to Suleiman, whatever he wants to do. It's his organization. He can. You see what I'm saying? He can't defend the title if he's found guilty on the B sample. There's not. He can't defend it. He'll be suspended. So what they'll do is strip him based on the finding, not because they think he did it against Puello. It'll be on grounds for the finding, and they can, because it's their belt, they can give it back to Puello. And then since Dalton was the mandatory, they'll give Puello the fight later on in the year. But why Suleiman said that they both negative? Okay. Esto saca subir la concentración. Yeah, it's gonna mess with concentration. Wait, when did Suleiman, Mark? When did Suleiman say that they were both negative? This literally happened like an hour and a half ago. And on where? Let me see. Let's keep looking. Yeah, you can't see me search, but I'm gonna go ahead. I mean, I could show you what I'm doing, but I don't want to. Let me go to VADA. Let me see if VADA testing. I don't think that's the real. Yeah, that's not the real VADA testing. It's just fake ass shit right there. Vamos a ver aquí. Este que yo estoy compartiendo con ustedes. So let me see. VADA testing. Okay, man. Let's go to VADA. Do they have an official stance? No, the last time it was November 19th. Congratulations for Eric the Hammer Virgil Ortiz completing VADA testing to the November 8th, 2025 bout. So we don't have anything here. I don't have anything here from VADA. So I don't have anything from VADA. Let me see. Mauricio. Let me see. WBC. Let's see if WBC has anything. Oh, look, it's Trump and the murderer. Um, Nothing on their site. Shit. So I don't really see anything here from. I don't really see anything. WBC. Vamos para WBC Moro. Con mucho cariño envío un fuerte abrazo, los mejores deseos para una pronta resignación. Okay, so nothing here and nothing here, nothing here. So I don't know where you saw that at. I would like to know. Okay, got it. Yeah, I know. Yo, don't even say that, Jose. Bro, I didn't even think about it that he was going to give it to a Pitbull. Oh. Yo, you know how Puello would be so fucking mad, bro, if Suleiman can give it to Pitbull, bro. He is the interim, though. Oh, shit, you know, you're right. Yo, Jose, you're right. You're right. No, no, no. Mark. So yeah, because this is like the second testing, so there's already been testing before. So the results are like retroactive. So the results are like from past tests. So he probably just said it, and then all of a sudden this test was the second test 3 weeks or four after that first test, and now this is dirty. That's all it is. Yeah, it has to keep training. But let's go back to what Jose said. Hold on. Jose said um they might give it to Pitbull if he wins. And it could be Roach. If Roach beats him, so vamos, mira, diablo puñale. So if Lamont Roach beats Pitbull or Pitbull beats Lamont Roach, Pitbull es el interino de la CMB. Pitbull's the interim for the WBC. When you have an interim champion and you strip the current champion, the interim gets the belt. When it becomes vacant, there's no reason to give it back to the original champion. In this case, holy shit. Wow. Yeah, so Boots. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Because everybody's been saying that. So I, this is not the first test, is what I'm getting from that, right? So usually blood tests don't come back for a few weeks. They're already training, they've already been tested prior, multiple times. So literally, Mauricio could have been talking about maybe the first test, and he got those results. You know what I'm saying? And just recently just said it because he doesn't know about the second. He shouldn't know. He shouldn't know about the second test, and didn't know there was a second test already about to be results. Being given. So the first ones that he got were okay. They're clean. And then the second one now, 3 weeks later, they would have been training for 8 weeks. You understand? So the second one now comes and is dirty because they're always in the rear. You kind of get what I'm saying? Turkey, you know what? That's interesting. So let's go here. Um, when did Matias and Dalton start testing with VADA for their fight? You'd be surprised how much crap be on the internet that is, it gets reported and we don't even know. You just have to search the. Okay, Matias and Dalton likely started VADA testing shortly after their fight was officially announced on January 10. Around late October 2025, testing is typically an ongoing process. The VADA program was initiated for the fight agreement as a recent sample, which was initiated as part of the fight agreement, and recent sample for Matias, which returned an adverse finding, also has put Jennifer in jeopardy. So, how long does VADA testing take to get a result? Let me see if they say that. Now, we went to the bottom of this, man. Um, VADA test results for athletes usually take several days to a few weeks to come back. Negative results are generally reported faster, while non-negative or positive results require it. Okay, yeah. So, so that's true. So, okay, so that makes sense. The boots. So the first results, if they were clean, they're not in a hurry to get it out, right? Because they know they're clean. So, it comes back clean. They go and they do the other 600 samples that they got to do for whatever, however many other athletes and other sports. And then they send those out. They're in no big hurry. They might even have the second sample collected on deck, and they haven't even sent the results for the first one. When you get the negative result, that gets taken quick because now you have to it's negative. You got to get that out quick so that way they can do what they got to do to with cancel fights, sporting events, fine people, whatever they got to do. So the negative, that makes sense. The negative result has to come out quicker than the positive. So Sandra, somebody call 911 for Sandra. She about to cut this live off. She about to die out here on us, man. Shit, I'm about to cut this live. Girl, you better call somebody, get a hug or something. Lord Jesus. Okay, so here's that interview with El Filosofo. He talked about Vara going to visit him and all the bottles he gave them. Yeah, but they don't test the bottles, and that's another thing. Stop taking so many different things. Because he has to send all of those. So vamos a suponer que él tiene como 10 vitaminas que él coge diferentes. Puñale, ahora tiene que mandar a comprar nuevas del mismo lot number, esas 10, mandarla de su propio bolsillo. That's another thing, guys. Understand. Matias Camp is paying for the testing. It's not paid by somebody else. Understand that. Dalton and Matias are paying for their own VADA testing. When there's a negative result, a positive result for drug findings, they got to pay for the B sample test. They got to pay to get the new supplements tested. And if Subriel tiene como 10 botellas, he got to pay for every single one to get tested. Ahí se le fue la bolsa. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Super Matías con la capa y todo. No, okay, so Melasa, no, having Ostarine is illegal in sporting events as far as right now as it stands. Whether it helps you be Superman, that's up for debate. Definitivamente puede tener una ventaja si tú coges bastante y hacer el trabajo que tiene que hacer, porque tú tienes que tener bastante en la sangre y en el sistema para que te haga efecto positivo. Pero el picogram que tenía Ryan Garcia en su sistema no era para todos los expertos, todos los que hacen pesa por el deporte. ¿Sabe? All the steroid guys, all those experts, they all said the same thing. Lo que le encontraron a Ryan no era nada que lo podía haber ayudado. It was something that he could have helped him with. And these are the roid experts. So let's see how much they found if they find it in the B sample. Let's see. Weird, they wanted Matias on Saturday. On the Saturday, they want him on that. That's what they wanted him at. But I was always against that. Yeah. No, Ostarine has been catching a lot of guys because it's real common. Se usa muchas cosas. Ostarine gets used in a lot of things. So they make it a lot. No, it doesn't. You have to have a tremendous amount. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have to have a lot. That's what I'm saying, Sandra. All the experts, all those steroid heads, everybody was saying the amount that Garcia had in his system, you couldn't make you couldn't you it was insignificant. Like he looked trash that night. He looked slow and fat. You have to have a lot in your system for it to help you. And it's actually the side effects of Ostarine are actually not reportedly are not that bad if you get them for what it does help you. it's a very helpful SARM. It's not one of the more harmful ones. So I mean that's a different topic though, right? Something is Rim Magazine already. Hold on, let me see what's going on here. Something is Ring Magazine already has it as a head. Yeah, that's the Mike Cop. Remember, Mike Coppinger writes for the Ring Magazine. Ring says he has until December 10th. The fight or the fight is canceled. The fight between Puello and Smith is. You know what'll be funny? So Lourdes, you know what'll be funny? Yeah, Ozempic has Ostarine. It was made as different types of weight loss uses because Ostarine is used as an ingredient for other weight loss programs. It helps with weight loss. It helps you with strength and conditioning. It can do a lot of things. It's actually pretty damn good. Um, Fight in between Puerto I read it. So damn, this conspiracy is wild. Hold on, I gotta go to the Ring magazine. Hold on, this is crazy. Hold on, Ring magazine. Oh man, hold on. It's gonna go to look. This is how cheap my computer is. It goes right to Yahoo. Like, what are we doing? And everything is a. All right, let's go. So let's go to Ring magazine here. Let's go to the news. Let's go here. Boxing. Subriel Matias tests positive for Ostarine. Milwaukee. Let's go. What are they saying? Subriel Matias tests positive for PD Ostarine fight versus Dalton Smith in Jeopardy. Subriel Matias delivered 90% medical finding for the performance enhancing drug Ostarine in a VADA test. Sources tell the rain. Matias' WBC junior welterweight title defense versus Dalton Smith on January 10th in Brooklyn. New York is now in jeopardy. Matias has oh shit. Fuck the 10th. This says Matias has until December 1st. Hasta el primero de diciembre se jodió. To request testing for his B sample, the 32-year Puerto Rican is the ranked number 2 boxer at 140 pounds. Matias, 23 and 22, became two-time junior welterweight title holder when he scored a thrilling majority decision victory over Alberto Pollo in July in New York on the undercard of the ring 3. If Matias is eventually stripped of his title upon investigation of the positive test result, expect the WBC to quickly order the vacant title fight between Smith or Puello per sources. That's stupid because you have an interim champion. You have an interim champion. You just wait until the interim champion fights and see who the interim champion becomes, and then you give him that title. You elevate. Yo, it is so crooked. Boxing is so crooked. Like it's, yeah. The commission's not gonna say anything yet because it didn't happen on their watch. Usually, the commission will say something when it's them that took. See, so the commission was the one that tested. Also, Ryan, so they had something to say. The commission will then take. In this case, the commission will take advice of whatever the WBC does. So if the WBC says we'll suspend Subriel and strip him for a year and suspend him for being in the rankings for a year, then that's what the New York State Athletic Commission might do also, since the fight's already sanctioned through them. Okay. Yeah, Lourdes, we're right here, right now. Hold on. I mean, y'all typing like crazy. Hold on. Really, I can't wait for the set this play. Melasa just stayed in the ring saying, yeah, so let's go back. I'm on the ring. Hold on. Oh, I'm not even sharing it. Hold on, guys. I'm an idiot. I was reading this whole shit and I wasn't even sharing it. Hold on, guys. Let's share it. I was right here reading this whole situation. So anyway, so if Matias is eventually stripped, I already read this part, but I'm gonna reread it again. This is the most important part, and if you see it, it's right there, right? You know what? Can I like I forgot how to like make my fucking thing bigger. Anyway, they'll pause. If Matias is eventually stripped by his title upon investigation of the positive test result, expect the WBC quickly to order vacant title fight between Smith and Puello per sources. Smith was installed as slight betting underdog versus Matias in a virtual coin flip fight. Matias' lone defeat came, okay, but not lone defeat. Yo, you know what's wild? This shit was written by AI. This was written by AI. And you know how I know? You know how I know? Okay. Yo, but hold on. Yeah, with me? Yeah, with me? You want to know how I think this is written by AI? And he prompted the story and then didn't check it entirely? Do you okay, guys, hold on. I don't know if hold on, let me see if it shit did it is it working for y'all? Is it scrolling for you guys on your side? The damn web page? God damn it. Hold on. Let me let me stop screen sharing, and then I'm gonna share it again, and I'm gonna show you why I think that this alleged by me, a non-expert, because I'm a non-expert. Um, okay, good. Now it's showing. Okay, so I read all that stuff, and you guys heard it, right? Because we've been talking about it. So just so you know, I play around with AI as well, right? It helps me. I would write titles and descriptions, but you have to go through it because if you don't know how to use AI properly and prompt it properly for writing purposes, even if because people think that AI is scrubbing the internet for facts and it gets it right every time. But if you don't look at it, si no chequeas el AI, hay errores porque tú dices, bueno, el AI está buscando por Google. Check it. This is how I think. So here's why I think this is AI. Because I've done this prompt before. Yo he hecho esto antes y me dijo, permiso, lo mismo. Watch this. It told me the same thing. So hold on right here, right here, right here. Hold on. Okay, on the card, requesting for, okay, we all know that that's what. Okay, so the ring, the winner Matias for Puyo fight. Okay, Smith was installed as a slight betting underdog versus Matias in a virtual coin flip fight. Matias lone defeat. ¿Cuántas derrotas tiene Matías? Tiene dos. No es verdad. He has two. And the defeat came in 2024 versus Liam Paro in a major upset. When you prompt AI with Subriel Matias, more times than not, when I tell I give it my draft and it kind of like rewrites it for me and I kind of like reword it for the descriptions, right? Because I like to get the SEO words in there. It'll say that Matias is still the IBF champ, and it'll say that he only has one loss, and I have to correct it. I have to teach it. So, yo, boo, stop playing with me, dog. Just because I got glasses, bro. Just stop playing with me, dog. Don't be calling me no bitch. Don't be no bitch ass motherfucker calling me names and shit just because you're behind that screen, dog. But yeah, but I mean, it's right there, bro. He didn't check the generated response, and he put, "This is AI, dog. Look, Matias lone defeat came in June of 2024. That man done lost twice. He ain't got one loss. He got two. You think that Mike Coppinger wrote Matias lone defeat? He knows boxing. He knows boxing. And he put Matias lone defeat. Yo, this is getting weirder. I don't know. I'm just saying, okay, look, Mike Coppinger, I don't know if you actually used AI, but I know that I have prompted for like fix my script that I wrote for this video, and then it'll change all kinds of shit from it, and it'll put that he has one defeat and he's with the IBF champ still. And then when I correct it, it goes, oops, yeah, you're right. And then it does that. I don't know, man. I don't know. This sounds now Mike's integrity. Listen, if we're gonna say Matias' integrity is being put at play, and being, then I'm gonna say that Mike Coppinger's integrity is being put at play because that's as AI as it gets. That's as AI as it gets. And you know who loves AI? The Ring Magazine. Ring Magazine loves AI. You think I'm lying? You don't believe me that the Ring Magazine doesn't love AI? Oh, now they put it on the front page. Oh shit. Um, let me show you some stuff. Let me see, because I saw it earlier on here. This is all like dope shit right here. Um, you see this picture right here, with Inoue and Nakatani. That's AI render right here. That's AI. Just so you know. Let me show you. Damn, I just saw it. I don't know why now I can't find it. Shit. Of course, when I'm trying to like show, but all the artwork that they got up here, all that artwork, um, that's all AI. That's all AI. Like I'm always trolling them on on Twitter or whatever. Like, yo, stop using AI, hire real artists, or give us some work. Like you're paying all these boxes, all this kind of fucking money. Can't you give us some, some money, like the artists, like hire actual artists to draw you something? Like why, why are you doing? Look, see this? That's AI right here. This is AI. This might not have been, but I don't put it past. This AI. All this is generated right here. A retouch. It has a signature. Actually, this might be. I forgot the artist's name. This is AI, bro. This right here. Look, AI, AI, AI. This guy has the nerve to sign it, bro. This right here, bro. Hold on. Let me see. I bet you if I run it through the AI detector, it'll tell me it's AI. He loves AI. Sometimes you see like 8 fingers on fighters and shit. Yeah, man. I don't know. They probably just hearing it and talking to each other. Sandra, Filosofo and Authentico probably like trying to. They probably trying to reach whoever they contacts are. I ain't got no contacts. I can't call nobody. Yeah, nobody's hooking me up with information. I don't know. Talking BS is super important. Subriel Carrera is about to implode. Lourdes, I don't even have to hear Subriel. I know that this has to be a mistake or something. Sandra, Lourdes, Boots. I'm thinking if it's a mistake, that's the best thing that could happen. I'm hoping for the mistake. I'm hoping that the machine made a mistake. I'm hoping that the tech made the mistake. And I hope that if they do find it, I'll make it a big deal. I'll put it up here. I will. Um, I'll put it up here. I'll make a big video about it. If BN Junior doesn't get the KO, trust gonna win it. He catches a beat. Oh boy. Yeah, but I'll make it a big deal if they come out and say no, 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 it was a mistake. I'll out the lab. Um, who does? Let me see. I like I said, I have a video about it on who does it. But what lab does VADA use for testing? I have this. I had like all of the. I'm not just erased like all of their lab stuff. Um, okay, so Margaret Goodman. I know she's the one that does it. So here it is. So you guys, and I'm gonna put it. Hold on, because I'm gonna go copy and I'm gonna show you guys. Paste and I'm gonna. No, what the hell's going on? Right here. All right. So let me see if this actually went to the. Okay, here we go. So this is VADA, and this is Marriott Goodman from VADA, right? And right here, this is founded in 2011 by Margaret Goodman. Now, mind you, a neurologist, but it was Margaret Goodman and Victor Conte. So don't let that fool you. You have to be invited to participate. Yes, it can be an athlete's contract. I'm not privy to the actual contracts that fighters sign, but what I've been told is more often than not, it will indicate the contract that if they sign in the event they have to undergo drug testing. Okay, good. That says the contract. You talk about VADA doing testing, but there isn't a big VADA lab. Well, I told you guys, right? With the fleet of uniform VADA testers that you're sending, who's actually collecting the sample? You see what I told you? Okay. VADA itself does not physically go, oh, so see, I got that part wrong. They don't even collect. They don't even collect anymore. Holy shit! VADA, the stuff that's not physically go collect the urine and blood. There are certified doping collection offers through a company called Cleridium. They originate in Denmark and they test worldwide, and they're just wonderful. We've never had any issues with them. When we request that athletes undergo a test, the doping collection officers will have a document from me and VADA indicating exactly what the athlete is, and they will arrange the test for the athlete. Sometimes they'll get tested within a day. Sometimes I may say we don't want them tested for a week or so. That will set up VADA to foundation. Our biggest problem is when fighters don't tell us that they've changed their location. They may update us, but sometimes they don't. I suppose the number of times you get to test somebody can vary. Like you said, it assumes that their budget consideration here, and that someone's got to pay for all this testing, and it's usually the athlete. When fighters, whoever is subsidizing the testing, for example, a promoter will give us a budget because our testing is so extensive. We collect our urine, blood, and it's costly, and they have to adhere to that budget. So often that will reflect the exact number of tests. So let's think about this, right? They're saying it's expensive. The whole thing cost them $1.9 million. That's the budget for the fight itself, and then everything else that they have to set up outside of that. So, do you think that they are paying for a whole lot of testing? They're not, probably. This is probably they're probably gonna do 3 testing, right? Beginning, halfway through camp, and after. I think that's what they did, and because it's expensive, and so that there you go, guys. Damn, bro. The the amount. Okay, so Melasa. So okay, so check it out. It's not that it's not illegal. It is illegal. You cannot use it at all if you're an athlete. Point blank. Period. Now they will excuse it if the traces amount are low enough that it actually coincides with it being cross contamination and the amount found is too low to have an effect on you. New York State Athletic Commission could give a damn how low, because each commission does their own testing and they all have their own threshold, I should say. The New York State Athletic Commission doesn't give a damn how low it is. If it's there, you're done. That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So, boost what? Yeah, the same thing. He from every freaking supplement out there in GNC. Yeah, yeah. Don't buy from GNC, bro. Don't think that that's a legit thing. Like, that's just a store. They could sell Gatorade and popsicles for all they care. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about either. Sign the same thing here reading. Okay, they have option in the system. Okay, so Melasa might be right. So let's go. Can or no? Let's do, are athletes allowed to have Ostarine in their system? Let's find out. I mean, hey, why not, right? Okay, Diamond Behavioral Health. Which one? Let's see. Let's go with the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, USADA. Right. Let's talk about that. Let's look at that one. Let's look about what USADA. I'm gonna accept all of the cookies because I'm hungry and I'm gonna end this stream at some point because I want to eat. Okay, what is Ostarine? We already know what Ostarine is, right? It's a selective androgen receptor modulator, which is a SARM, right? This is not approved. Okay, Melasa, this is why we have to understand what Ostarine is. It's only been in experimental phases, and I know what it helps with in like AIDS patients when they lose muscle mass, right, and things like that. And so and it's an ingredient that can bind itself to other things, so it can help out with muscle growth. It doesn't just cut weight; it can be used for muscle growth as well. But let's keep going. Ostarine is trademark name for a SARM, so that's just the trademark name. The Ostarine doesn't point to an actual molecule or anything like that. That it's not approved for human use. So let me copy this and I'm gonna put it on the window so you guys can see it, right? Because we're all learning here, right? We need to go ahead and also educate ourselves in the major public so we can make better understandings of it, right? So here we go. So now we're here, right? So let's talk about it. So, what athletes need to know about Ostarine? And right here, where it says Ostarine is the trademark name, right here, that it is not approved for human use or consumption in the U.S. or in any other country. In recent years, right, WADA, which is the World Anti-Doping Agency, which is what overlooks everything, has reported an increasing number of positive tests involving SARMs. Athletes who use these substances most likely obtain them through black market channels. Research has shown that SARMs, like Ostarine, have fewer androgenic properties meaning they have less influence on development and balance of male hormones, including testosterone. While they are not yet approved, SARMs are of interest to the medical community. So, real quick, guys, I'm going to show you what this actually means. So, you see this part here where it says research has shown that like SARMs like Ostarine have fewer androgenic properties, meaning they have less influence on the development and balance of male hormones, including testosterone. You know what is important? Because steroids or any other performance enhancing drugs, the way they find it. So let me just tell you how they find these drugs. Right, first they test many things, but the first thing they test is the balance of male hormones, including testosterone, and all of SARMs up to that point, and PEDs hike and jack up testosterone levels. When they see that number of testosterone really high, then they go and say something that's an unnatural testosterone. That means that there's an influence bringing it up. We now can say there is something here that we can look for now. We have a better understanding. We're going to look for things that are making it go up. That's how they begin their whole search. What Ostarine does, it doesn't mess with it. It doesn't mess with it. So for a long time, when it went to the black market, people were using it and getting jacked or cutting weight, and it couldn't be tested for. Eventually, when it got introduced to labs as a potential thing that they were using, they could actually pinpoint and look for it in it of itself. That's how you test for Ostarine, right? So is Ostarine prohibited in sport? Yes, Ostarine is prohibited in at all times under the S1 anabolic agent prohibited list. The number of positive tests involving Ostarine has increased steadily over the past few years, with WADA reporting 28 globally in 2015. They always go back. Research papers usually go back and reference, even if they're written today, they usually reference 10 to 5 years in increments, because that's when you get a better size of actual studies, right? So that you can compile data. So even when we're in 2025, you say, well, that was 10 years ago. Yes. And more than likely, if there's another study, it'll come out like in 2026 or something like that, 27, because they have a lot more in that 10-year span. They don't do, some studies do 3 years, 4 years, depending on what they're trying to, study, or if there was, or even if there was a study ordered. Does everyday products contain Ostarine? There are in fact products that contain Ostarine, but only illegal ones. Given that Ostarine is not approved for human use and consented in any other country, there are no legal medications that contain Ostarine. So legal medications understand that. So that even sheds more light onto what's going on. So there we go. That's how basically you get caught using Ostarine and what it does. For example, Ostarine may also be called enobosarm MK2866 or GTX 024. Some examples of supplements that contain Ostarine can be found in the supplement Connect High Risk. Click here for advisory Ostarine. What are the health risks associated with Ostarine? Because it's still investigated for in humans, side effects have not been fully characterized. But there is a study for 2013. This is an old SARM. It's been around for a while, but there is, and it actually this helped AIDS patients. I saw that. What if I need to use Ostarine as part of my medical treatment? Keep in mind that Ostarine is not currently available, and that was a trial run, I should say. It wasn't tested like as a prescribed. Available as prescription medication in the country, no matter what the medical condition you have. Your doctor is not legally allowed to prescribe Ostarine as a treatment. So there you go, Melassa. So you can't use it. You can't have it in your system. No, the because you know why, Melissa, they haven't said anything, because it didn't happen on their watch, right? Meaning, so the day before the fight and the day after the fight, the New York State Athletic Commission will take their own samples. In this case, they took no samples. So whatever the finding that WADA and VADA and Claramadine or whatever the hell the damn lab is called, whatever they find and whatever WBC does as a penalty to Subriel is what the New York State Athletic Commission might follow as a punishment in New York, because it was sanctioned. They sanctioned it. That's it. But they didn't collect it. Otherwise, if they would have collected, they also would impose a fine or something like that. But they're not going to do that in this case. So why will he be using PDs for training? What does he want to beat up his sparring partners at the time? Donnie, I don't think he used it, but you could use it for so many different things. And I know that in Puerto Rico se juegan los gallos, and I know it's illegal in the United States. If you're an animal lover, this is cultural speaking. I'm not saying that I condone or deny. Listen, my family was involved in it, but hay gente que en los gallos usan esteroides o diferentes cosas así para humanos para tener la ventaja. So I know that in rooster fights in Puerto Rico, they have been caught, using illegal drugs like that, like a performance enhancing drug to get an advantage of either stamina or hitting power. So that's why you would use it. So but you have to use it while you're training them, right? So you do spar them as well, just like a boxer would. So that's, yeah, in sparring you would hurt, maybe if you were taking it like without any regulation, you could hurt a sparring partner. But the way it would be used would be in microdosing it so slowly from the beginning that it doesn't really serve a purpose. So I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, Lourdes is over, bro. Yeah, it's all over. Um, it's all over everywhere, and it's gonna be hard for Subriel, even if I'm innocent, to say I see I didn't do it, and the machine is not on his side. La máquina no está en el lado de Subriel Matías en esta situación, y aunque él no sea culpable, va a perder mucho en el público, con oportunidades, so he's gonna lose a lot. Yeah, so Ryan tested positive the fight the night before and after, right? Um, right. So no, he after the fight. So they tested him after the fight, but remember they took the B sample, the A and B sample. So they say he tested twice, but it's the same blood. You understand? So they say, yeah, he tested positive twice. No, he essentially tested positive once. Just the B sample confirmed it. They tested two samples, but they both were taken the same time, same day. That's why it has, they say multiple times, but it's really just one. Yeah, I know. Is it no because the Ring magazine wrote it? Yeah, I know. Let's, bro. Boxers got enemy. Somebody set him up. No, Tyson Fury said he doesn't take water from anybody if they offer it to him after fights or anything like that, because people will puncture it with syringes and put something in there. So yeah, yeah. No reason I'm doing the boots because it's crazy. Because if nobody's out here defending him and bringing it to light and showing the people, right? Because if I don't educate the people on how this could be transmitted or ingested or done, they're gonna think he did it on purpose, right? But there's so many steps before you get to the positive test, and that there could still be a false positive. People are gonna run with a narrative because they just read what they read. They don't get educated. So I'm hoping that maybe if you guys talk to somebody else, maybe you'll get this information and tell them, no, this is how it really works, and there's still a chance that he actually got shafted in some way by mistake, and or maybe they're working to this video or whatever. So you have to put it out there in order to kind of like get ahead of it. Because if I'm not defending him, then I don't, then right now in showing people why they shouldn't run and how things work. I have some real life experience in collecting specimens, so why not use what I know and educate the public, since I've already done a video like this before in the past for Ryan, and let them know that this is how it works, and this is why you shouldn't run right away and say he's guilty. It's if it is in the system, it's going to show up in the B sample, and if it's not in the system and it was a mistake, this is how it could be done, and this is why this is that. I mean, look, up a little while ago, Melasa thought that it was legal for you to have Ostarine in your system, but I had to show no, it's not. It's not even uh, uh, graded for human consumption. It's not. It's illegal in every country all around the world. You know what I'm saying? So folks like him even thought it was legal. You know what I'm saying? And it's not his fault. He heard it somewhere, or read it as fact, and it's not fact. So I have some knowledge that I can share and say, no, wait a minute. This is how it actually works, and this is why we shouldn't believe everything. Me, I double check everything I read on the internet, no matter where I read it. I try to get as many sources as possible. So just for me, So now that I have responsibility with a channel, as silly as it may sound, because it's just a sport and it's fun, but it's a livelihood for many people. It's a livelihood, right? Because they feed their families. And if I'm making $5 off of a Subriel Matias video, that's $5 I didn't have before. So why would I not try to help them out and show the fans and the people, hey, this is how it works? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, Lules, I gotta give the info. Super pillos que todavía que están peleando. Man, that's a whole different thing, man. Let me see. And before I leave, let me check one more thing. Let me see, I don't know, it's like ESPN. Let's see if ESPN has reported on the matter. Let's see how far it's reached, right? Let's try ESPN. Let's go here. Let me see if ESPN is running it. Let me see if it's here. Hold on. It's not in the front page, right? It's not on the front right now. It's not on the front. Let's see. I'm gonna search for boxing, and if I find anything, I'll put it up on the screen. Boxing, and let me see. Let's see if anything pops up. So ESPN has not yet reported on it, but ESPN really, But hey, they haven't reported on it. So right now we're there. So let's see. Anyway, guys, that's it for me right now. I'm getting hungry and I just want to eat something. And what is this? What is this? F for full screen. I don't want full screen. Let me see. I don't want to see my face in the full screen. What the hell's wrong with you? Yeah. So listen, guys, spread the information. Let people know what to look for. Got them to this video if need be. I know it's a long video. We got into conversation, and I'm glad we got into conversation because then we can sort of share this information, and hopefully you got something out of it about how this thing works, how does testing work, how you collect things. Hopefully you came out of it knowing more, and then hopefully this is all a mistake by the lab, and Matias gets cleared and this is all for nothing, and I wasted a lot of breath. Nah, I didn't waste a lot of breath because I taught you some stuff. You came out better on the other side than you do that coming in. So great. But anyway, guys. Oh, you know what? All right, let me look on the Subriel. All right, let me do that before I leave. Hold on. Now Lula is telling me to look for Subriel, and then let me type that in there. And no, the last thing that Coppinger wrote for ESPN concerning Subriel was a year ago with Lopez. So no, they haven't picked it up. They haven't picked it up yet. So there's that. So vamos a ver. But anyway, guys, thank you for everything. Thank you for showing up. This is probably the one stream that I've ever had that almost 2 hours and 17 people. Like for me, that's a big deal. Like I stuck around for the show. It's like one person to put it in his drink or the lab. Yeah, you can't done it. You can't take nothing from nobody. You're a boxer. Everything's gotta be sealed from the store, bought by your team, and your supplements gotta be. You gotta vet those stuff. See, I would have done for his team. I would have bought the supplements ahead of time that he was gonna use for this fight before it officially got done. Sent them out to get tested for Ostarine themselves and any other performance enhancing drugs. Clear that they were done, good to go, and then take that. And now we're clear that we have labs that tested independently. So all this nonsense that would have came out, we're like, no, we got ahead of it. So whatever happened, we getting trickery. That's what I would have done. I mean, when you are trying to get to that level, I think you got to take steps, and it might be costly, but I mean, this is what can happen, right? But anyway, guys, thank you for showing up and showing out. I hope that you do this every time I go live. I don't know, man. You guys don't really show up, but I guess controversy sells. No, I'm just playing. But thank you. I appreciate you guys, and I see you in the next video. Share it,